Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio, Business Building Warrior. I'm so glad you've chosen to spend a few moments with us today. We've got some pre-recorded content today since it's the weekend update, but it's probably content you haven't heard unless you join us on a regular basis for our live Monday night Q&A sessions with our entire community. Man, some good questions happen when we do that, and we'd love to share the questions and responses with you. That's what we do on our weekend updates. We'd love for you to join us some Monday. It's open to anyone in our community. The best way to hear about these and to get the links you need and participate is to be part of the free Facebook group. There's a link at silentjimdotcom to that free Facebook group. Jump in there. Most Mondays we go live. Quite often it's me. Sometimes it's some other folks on our leadership team answering any e-commerce or Amazon questions. Then we compile the best questions and answers into a weekend update for those who couldn't make it to the live session. So that's what we've got for you today. Hopefully you're enjoying your weekend. Thanks for taking us along. I'll cut right to the chase. Let's jump right into content. Let's see what the team compiled for us today. So this is the official beginning. Hi, my name is Jim, and I am the founder of this Facebook group where pretty much everyone here is a part of, the 74,000 member My Silent Team Facebook group, where we focus on using the internet creatively to launch and grow multiple income streams, enabling you to build the business of your dreams, working a flexible schedule, working from home, working around the people you love, building something you can be proud of. That's the whole mission and the goal, the purpose of what this community is all about. And we love seeing families do business together. All the creative ideas and stories that bubble up out of this community make up our podcast. You can go to silentjimdotcom. That's my name on the screen if you can see us today. You can go to that website. It's really the only website you'll need as part of our community. You'll see a link to our free podcast, hundreds of interviews with the successful students and the great leaders from our community talking about how they're doing business using the internet creatively to launch and grow multiple income streams, build the business of their dreams, a business they can put in their pocket, take on the road. I went to Mexico with our whole family. There was a whole bunch of us went down and rented a big old house, had a good old time. I checked in for an hour or two every day, ran my business from Mexico. Doesn't matter where you live, where you are. This is a community that has international appeal because we've got people all over the world building beautiful businesses. The model we start most students with is Amazon. So that's become a lot of the focus of what we do around here is the Amazon opportunity, selling on Amazon.com, specifically in the US, where anyone in the world can build a successful business if you've got the tenacity, the determination, and you're ready to get in there and do the work. Every business you will ever see takes work, blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, and risk. Every business. If you're in denial about that, this is a wrong group. Go out there, try 5 or 6 things, waste a bunch of money. You'll be back and you'll realize it takes work to build a business. There's risk, blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, and anything worth having, including a business. But we do it right around here. We've been doing it 20 years. We've coached 10,000 people approximately over those 20 years. And we've sold courses and content and training to multiple times more people than that. I've got my own warehouse. We sell on Amazon, eBay, Facebook. I employ 3 members of my own family and 4 or 5 other people as well in my warehouse, my physical product business. We've got a bit of a retail presence as well. We do coaching. We do events for e-commerce and for sellers. I do the podcast. Those are some of my multiple income streams that have grown over the years. I've written a book. By the way, speaking of books, this is a great welcome for those of you who might be new around here. Write down this phone number. I'll stick it in the chat as well for those who are on here live. 507-800-0090. I'm sticking it in the chat. And if you're listening to this audio, you can rewind it. I'll say it one more time though. 507-800-0090. That's a US-based phone number. If you text the word free to that phone number, we got it working again. It was down for a couple of weeks. We're back in action. You'll get a free copy of my latest book, 100%, no questions asked. Just send you a full copy. You can watch it. You can listen to it. And it's me talking for several hours about not just the history of this group, but the specific strategies that have led to so many success stories and which of those strategies might be the best fit for you for where you're at right now. Now, the default for most students is going to be starting an Amazon selling business, which is, again, the heartbeat and the focus and that seems to be the core content of this community because it's such an incredible opportunity that we've seen thousands of families at this point. We've got 1,900 success posts in our free Facebook group, for example, 1,900 of them from people saying, "Hey, this works. Look, I said, got a new weekly high sales total. Look, I've hit my first $10,000 a week or $10,000 a month, whatever it happens to be." We celebrate every victory, big or small, but 1,900 is a lot. And that signifies the relevance of the courses and the content, the stuff that we teach, the coaching around here. So we're very proud of that. I feel like we clearly lead the industry when it comes to Amazon seller training, especially for those with limited or very little experience selling online or in e-commerce. We really specialize in that. We're really good at what we do. We've got 60 coaches on our team. All of them have two things in common. One is they built a beautiful business using the proven Amazon course, which is the only Amazon seller training you'll ever need. provenamazoncourse.com. 60 of our highest performing students, we tapped them on the shoulder and said, "Hey, do you have a few hours a week to show others exactly what you did? Help them do the same thing." And for those who have a teacher's heart, which is the second qualification, build a beautiful business, they have a teacher's heart, we bring them onto the team. That's who our coaches are. You can go to silentjimdotcom and see a link to our coaching program. Set up a free consultation with someone on our team to talk about you, your business, your plans, see if it's a good fit for you. It's not a good fit for everyone. We turn down as many people as we accept into coaching because you have to have enough margin in your life. You have to have enough financial, relational, emotional, physical. Like, what are you talking about, Jim? There's a lot of areas of life that really matter. And you've got to have enough margin in all those areas, because if you're sick in bed and going through a divorce and broke, that's not a time to start a business. That's a time to figure out some of these, pull yourself up by the bootstrap and let's find a few little things that work. Let's not put any money at risk. Let's grind our way out of this and get back on a good path, right? Some people at that stage, that's not the stage where you need coaching. That's the stage when you need people around you loving you and you need little goals. And you put a little bit of money in the bank and get your confidence up. Maybe you need to keep a job. Maybe you need to do some gigs, right? So we're not going to sell coaching to the wrong people. But if you're positioned for it, we've got the best coaching program in the business. Our coaching, just not to talk too long about this, but I'm really proud of the fact that you will not find another e-commerce coaching program out there that's been around a third as long as we have. Go try to find a coaching company that's been around 6 or 7 years. They're hard to find. Go try to find one that's been around 20 years. That's us. We're the only ones. E-commerce coaching for 20 years. We're good at what we do. We have very high standards. We'd love to talk to you about it sometime and just make your life better after a half hour, 45-minute phone call, give you some good advice and instructions, send you on your way better than we found you, even if you don't sign up for coaching. Very, very proud of that program and the people behind it. When you're sourcing in Keepa for replens, give us a few of the top criteria, except with the exception of drops in sales price that you would identify first. Yeah, we'll dive into that. Little Keepa training for you guys. If you don't know what Keepa is, if you're brand new around here, go listen to podcast episode 369, 369 at silentjim.com. It is a must listen to episode so you understand the tool that really fuels the advantage you're going to have as an Amazon seller who's pursuing the replens model, which is the base level selling model that we teach to all new students around here. We don't throw you into the deep end helping you launch your own product as a new seller, because that has a 95% failure rate. What we do is we introduce you to the lowest risk, lowest learning curve, highest odds of success business model, which is replens. And you can hear hundreds of success stories from our students on our podcast. Again, silentjim.com has those stories. But yeah, we'll spend some time talking about Keepa, some tips. What else do I look at personally? What do we train our team to look at? Many of the other leaders on our team. I can tell you this, inside the Proven Amazon course, if you've never gone through the Advanced Keepa training by Brian and Robin Joy Olson, it is tremendous. And look, I said her name and she appeared, poof, like magic right on my screen. There she is. Hi, Robin Joy. They're actually a little insider tip. They're reworking sometime in the near future. We haven't put a date on it yet. They're going to rework the whole advanced Amazon seller training that's inside the Proven Amazon course and just kind of consolidate it and add to it, put it all under one roof. It's going to be beautiful. But we can spend some time talking about that. And Robin Joy, I might tap you, since I know I got you for a few minutes here before you have other commitments tonight, to take a look at that question in the chat from John and just see if you want to take a bite of that one too. Dante said, opening 10-minute Gymmercial. Yeah, that's, man, bear with me. I got to do it. I mean, I read a book recently on that point. Dante. It's a great comment. I love it. But I read a book that said leading at scale is a matter of there's a few things that you're going to do when you lead at scale, meaning the community is growing and you've got a large leadership team that's growing and things are really churning at a nice level. What's it feel like to lead an organization that looks like that? And the guy that wrote the book said it feels like you're repeating yourself constantly, but you got to say it like you're saying it for the first time every single time, because there's going to be new people hearing it for the first time every single time. So for those of you who've been around a while, you're like, yeah, I've heard Jim say these things like 47 times. What's the deal? Well, we want to welcome in those new business building warriors, which that's one of my favorite questions to answer is, why do you guys love new sellers so much? What's the big deal? Why can't we all just kind of draw a cap on this thing, like all do it together and grow together and stop bringing in the new people and like, let's just do this thing together? I love that. It takes me about 10 minutes to answer that question. So you know what you're getting yourself into if you ever ask me. But short version is new fresh blood means new fresh ideas constantly. Some of the best ideas we get around here are from the people who've been around a couple of weeks. And they bring in the skills, the tools, the connections, the opportunities, those regional advantages we've never heard of, those new angles, and so consistently that new blood. It's kind of like a church, a church that never has anyone new come to it. Just kind of everyone's getting old together. It's like, I don't know if I want to be a part of that very long, right? New fresh blood, new ideas. Kind of see this, many of us as a ministry, like we really want to help families do life better. So that's why we love these new sellers. That's why we spend time seeing a lot of the same things over and over, especially on these Monday weekly calls. If you want to dive into the deeper content, that's the proven Amazon course. That's your coaching. That's the trajectory into the future that you can experience those kinds of things. How are you, Robin Joy?
Hey, I'm doing great, Jim. How are you? Unfortunately, I can't see the comments from before I joined in, so I don't know exactly what the question was, but it had something to do with Keepa.
Yeah, I'll read it to you. Yeah, sorry. Wow, I didn't set you up very good for
Sorry
that
about
one.
that.
All right. So he says, can you give us 3 or 4 of your criteria, with the exception of drops and sales prices, that you would identify first? If you're looking at Keepa, what are you looking for besides drops? And for the new people, drops is the most important one. But what else are you guys looking at? And Brian and Robert Joy did a great event getting your first 100 replen ASINs just here a couple of weeks ago out in Utah. It was tremendous. Had a nice small group that gathered and flew out. I was there with them. Such a great event. So I thought I'd let you take that. You want to go with that, or you want me to brainstorm with you on it?
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. I can give a couple of thoughts, and then you absolutely should follow up. But the Keepa drops or sales rank drops is how it's described on Keepa. We're talking about the filters in Keepa, how you can go into the Keepa product finder and put some filters so that you can find items that you might want to look at to see if they're test worthy ASINs. So absolutely, sales rank drops is one of the most important ones. Price can be very important, and it's often a way to slice it down, kind of take a few items at a time. One of our coaches, Travis Sears, showed me he teaches people to take like $25 to $30 sales price or buy box price or whichever price you want to put in there, and do those one at a time, and then slice down and do the $26 to $27. So you don't have too many that you're working on at one time. I thought that was a great idea. Another thing that we put in there is the category. A lot of times when people are first starting out, they're only approved in certain categories. So if you choose the category, and I did post in the comments the categories that you usually approve for when you first start out, if you choose the category, that will help you stay within the category that you're approved to sell. Now, you won't be able to sell in all of you won't be able to sell all of the brands in that category, but it will. Most of the things that you are able to sell will be in those categories. So that's a good thing that we try to do. There are so many ways. If you look at Keepa 2.0, you'll see 9 different ways to do those filters. And just like Jim said, we're working on right now. We're working on consolidating all of that and giving some more information about Keepa itself and how it can be used to not only source, but help in managing your own book of business. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, great job. Thanks for that. And I always know I can throw the Olsons into the deep end on a comment or a question, and they're going to just hit it out of the park. 2 of the great coaching leaders on our team and doing such a tremendous job serving this community every day. Love working with you guys. someone was saying they need some motivation. Yeah, they've had the proven Amazon course for a while. They kind of know the basics, but they're just finding it difficult to motivate. This is Dante saying this, and it seems like things are changing so fast. I just feel kind of stuck. And there's so many angles I can come at this from. I think for each of us, we're going to, if we're honest, we're going to admit it all feels a little overwhelming, right? You probably don't have anyone in your circle of friends that's been doing e-commerce longer than I have. So let me just tell you, yeah, it changes all the time. It feels overwhelming. The rules are always changing. The opportunity always seems to be kind of shifting and drifting. But the reason that we locked into replens about, I don't know, 7 years or so ago was because it's as predictable and steady and stable as it gets. So if we can say, okay, we're dealing with an opportunity that has the greatest odds of success if I apply myself and get myself motivated. Okay. The opportunity, let's set it over here. There's nothing better out there as far as low risk, low learning curve, high odds of success, bright future, a lot of people doing it successfully who are willing to help me. It checks all the boxes. So we've got that set. The only thing we're worried about now is, can I get myself motivated to actually do business? It's the same question as, can I actually get myself motivated to lose those 20 pounds I've wanted to lose? Or can I get myself motivated to make my marriage better? Or can I get myself motivated to be a little more intentional about, spending time with my kids or whatever that thing is where you're like, I really want to make that a higher priority in my life. I'm not going to give you the magic solution right now, but I can give you what I do. This is what gets me motivated. And this is what I've seen work for the most people in our community. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm actually an introvert who's very happy being quiet and saying nothing. But I feel like I've been called and pushed into the position I'm in. And out of necessity, just it's kind of like having a cure and everyone's wandering around in the dark. You're like, I've got exactly what you need. I'm excited about it. I'd love to give this to as many people as possible. That makes you an extrovert, makes you use your voice. And for me, the two things that work the best are: one, do it with other people. If you're doing this in isolation, which I almost guarantee if someone's saying, I just can't get motivated, you're trying to do it yourself. Because if you do it with another group of people, you start working out with a partner who's like, hey, it's 6 a.m. and raining, and I'm out here with my running shoes. Where are you? We said we were going to do this every Monday and Thursday for the next 6 months. Where are you? Get out of bed, banging on your window, right? You're doing it with somebody else now. There's an accountability there. That's our Kickstart Bootcamp, which before Robin Joy goes, I'll have her do a little info for you guys about that if you're not aware of what that is. It costs them $40 one time. Now you're doing it with a group of people. And the other one is, are you building relationships with other people? And they may sound like the same thing, but one is a very intentional, like, I'm going to do this one time, check this box, I'm going to find a group of people. The other is, are you intentionally building relationships with those people? Are you reaching out to them? Hey, how's your business doing? Let's talk business tonight. Let's make it a regular thing on a regular basis, because the Kickstart Bootcamp meets 4 times. A commitment to building relationships is a lifelong journey in e-commerce. I've been doing it for 20 years. And I've found that the times when I struggle the most, the times when I kind of isolate, I drift away from my people. I drift away from those relationships that matter. I stop sending texts, checking in on people. I stop hopping on phone calls. I stop going to live events. If you isolate, you're going to struggle. If you never even start to form those relationships, even those first few key relationships, you're really going to struggle to get motivated and to get started, which may seem like a weird thing to say, but I've just seen it so much. And the other key, besides the relationship key, being very intentional, is gratitude and recognizing just how blessed we are to have this as an opportunity. Like, if you've never done any international travel, I encourage it. Go somewhere where the greatest concern most people have around you is, am I going to have enough food for my family the next couple of days? Right? There's places in the world like that. You don't have to go very far to find them. Maybe you're there. You come back with such a sense of, wow, what an opportunity I have. I'm not going to waste it on Netflix. I'm going to build something so I can go back to places like that and truly impact lives. We've been able to adopt internationally 3 times because of our e-commerce business and the success that we've had. Beautiful kids that added so much to our life. It's not cheap to adopt internationally. We were blessed. God led us into that. That's what we did. And if I had just kept a regular, boring 9 to 5 that wouldn't let me get away on the schedule and wouldn't let me, have the funds that I needed to do things like that, our family looked very different. So gratitude and thinking, okay, what's having a bigger vision than myself? That's very motivating. Relationships and gratitude, having a vision bigger than yourself. That's as far as I go trying to motivate people. I don't want to jump off that cliff too far, but I love the question and I love the transparency being honest that you're kind of stuck there is a great sign that you're on the right path. Some people are in denial about it. That's a dangerous place to be. All right, Robin Joy, what's Kickstart Bootcamp, and what do you want to add on to what I just said? I'm going to take another sip of my elixir over here.
All right, you do it. Yeah, Kickstart Bootcamp, we are loving it over there, and we are welcoming anybody who wants to join us. This is a group where we have 4 weeks together in a Facebook group where we have goals for each week. We have resources for what to do and action items for each week. So we step you through opening your account, your seller account, and your Keepa account, finding one item to purchase and send into Amazon, teaching you how to create that shipment to Amazon, how to package that item, and put it up for sale. All that in 4 weeks. 4 weeks where you can ask questions anytime you want in the Facebook group. I'm in there at least once or twice a day answering questions, helping each other. All of the clients in there help each other out and share their successes. It's a great way. I think that one of the best things, and this has to do with the motivation that we were just talking about, one of the best things about the Kickstart Bootcamp is that by the end of this, someone has usually stepped up and said, hey, let's all stay together and walk this journey together. And so I see some faces here that I know you've been in there, and this has been for you too. And that's one of the most valuable things, because like Jim said, not everyone that you know in your life understands what you're trying to accomplish here. And to have people that you can talk to and see what they've learned and share experiences, it's just invaluable, those relationships. And it's a great way to get into a group of people that you can share that with. Also want to say about motivating and staying motivated, stay plugged in. You've got the Silent Jim podcast, sales machine radio going on 2 or 3 times a week. You've got the Facebook group, My Silent Team Facebook group. You can post in there anytime questions, and tons of people who can answer your questions. You've got Jim's book to read. I mean, there are just the masterminds that you can join. There are just 100 ways to stay plugged in and don't stay hidden. Make these relationships and keep talking to somebody. Keep talking to everybody. Go to the Proven Conference. Make sure you go to the virtual conference this week. Make sure you stay plugged in and see what's going on. There's my spiel, Jim. How'd I do?
That was awesome. Yes. Thanks for reminding me about the upcoming virtual conference. It starts Wednesday, the day after tomorrow, as we're talking right now. It's completely free for all Proven Amazon course and coaching students. If you're not registered yet, it's just a matter of getting into the Facebook group. And when you get there, they'll say, are you a PAC student? You say, yep, I am. And then boom, they let you in, verify it, let you in. Very cool event, because there's going to be some newbie friendly, like new stuff type of content that's going to be great for those who are newer to the community. A lot of fourth quarter focused content, but there's also a lot of stuff that we've never talked about before around here that we're launching at the virtual event. So last I looked, we got over 500, coming up on 600 people or so registered. I think we're going to get 800 or so with the pace that we're signing people up right now. If you aren't part of our community yet, there's a coupon code. It gets you in for $19. That gets you all the recordings. That gets you live access for 3 days, Wednesday, the 4th, 5th, and 6th of October. It's going to be a tremendous event. Don't miss it. We've charged hundreds of dollars in the past for our fourth quarter groups. This time we're making it free for the vast majority of our community and ridiculously low price, because we're just so excited about all the stuff we're going to be talking about. So yeah, you've got to be there. You want to be part of this. It's going to help keep you on the cutting edge. You want to always be learning. One of the things I've got to emphasize: success in e-commerce. Yes, it's relationships, it's gratitude, it's staying motivated. It's also carving out enough time in your day or in your week where you're learning new things, because the landscape and the opportunities are always shifting. The nice thing about the Amazon landscape that we've kind of carved out for this community is it has a very bright future. It's a big platform. There's a lot of ways that you can use it creatively to make money, and you can wade in very slowly and safely. That's why we focus on it. So that the virtual conference will have plenty of Amazon type training and content, but also some other things that we're really excited about as well. So theprovenconference.com has details on both our October 4th, 5th, and 6th event, virtual, and our May 23rd through 25th event, May of of 2024, the 23rd to the 25th. Just May of 2024. It seems way out there, but you want to go circle those dates, 23rd through 25th, because that's our Orlando event. And that's shaping up tremendous as well with just great lineup. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Yeah, you've got to be around others. Do the Kickstart Bootcamp. Robin Joy is our primary coach for that. So like she said, it's a chance to surround yourself, start some of those relationships, continue in like a mastermind fashion with that group. And you're going to give yourself a huge advantage for $40 one-time payment. Get a group of people who are going through the same process as you. Tremendous investment. And changes your odds dramatically of succeeding with the business.
My husband is like, why don't you get into the drop shipping? He thinks that, like, if you find something on sale, why not let the company ship it for us through Amazon to Amazon?
A couple big reasons. And I could spend 45 minutes on this. I'm going to spend 30 seconds on it and
Okay.
save you tens of thousands of dollars and a suspended Amazon account and a bunch of money frozen at Amazon with my two simple tips. Okay. First one is anytime you drop ship, you're running a risk of someone else being in charge of your inventory levels, which means you're going to run out of inventory at some point if you're doing it at scale, and you're going to have very upset customers. Amazon will fry you for that. They don't allow it. They don't want you to do it. Bigger than that is, in my 20 years of e-commerce experience, I have not encountered a single person who is able to successfully scale a dropship business and run it at scale over a significant period of time. Not one. I've met a bunch of people selling courses that claim, but in reality, no. It sounds great on paper, but it is a disastrous business model that I could not urge you more strongly to avoid. I mean, the only thing crazier than that is ordering a bunch of counterfeit Nikes from Alibaba and selling them as real Nikes on Amazon. I mean, that's the only thing crazier than drop shipping in my book. Now, I will give you the little
Okay.
caveat. I do some drop shipping myself. Like, wait, Jim, you just said it's dangerous. Well, no, I've got a guy locally who buys really big items and he needs an eBay account to sell them on. I've got an old eBay account. He sells them on my eBay account. And when a sale happens, he ships it. That's technically drop shipping. I'm not seeing or touching the inventory ever. He's using
Right.
my seller account. Well, I know the guy. I know his phone number. I know where he lives. I know his inventory levels. He's not going to run out of something because he's the one listing it one at a time as the items are available to him, right? So there's a very tight control on inventory. Drop shipping, you run a tremendous risk of running out of products that your customers have paid you for. And now you got to refund them, and Amazon will freeze your funds, shut you down for life. You get one or two strikes and you are out of the game forever with Amazon. Do not do it.
Okay. Oh, one last question. What category of something do you suggest starting with?
Robin Joy just gave us a great list if you saw it in the chat, and I'll scroll
Let me
back
go
up.
look.
I'll scroll back up to it for those who are listening today. But some of the easy categories to get into that are initially approved for the vast majority of new sellers are home and kitchen, arts and crafts, office
There it
products,
is.
pet supplies, not pet food, patio lawn. I think she left off sporting. No, she did. There, I scrolled down sporting and outdoor, industrial and scientific. I always forget that one. Yes. So there's a lot of categories where the vast majority of stuff that you will ever be approved to sell, you're approved day one. And once you've
Okay.
sold 30, 40, 50 items of anything, the gates start falling open for you. So this is another one of those, it feels like a mountain, but in reality, it's a molehill type of questions that we get from virtually every new seller in the community. But you'll see for yourself after you've sold 30, 40 items, the gates just kind of fall open because Amazon needs to know, like, and trust you before they'll let you sell, say, toys or food, right? They want to know, like, and
Okay.
trust you a
Well,
little bit.
let me show you this. I can get these for $2, and when I scan it on the seller app, it looks like I would make money, but it's got like it's not approving it. It wants an invoice. Well, would that be something that I would eventually become open for later as I get more
Possibly.
sales?
Possibly, yes, and it may be a hazmat item too if it's toxic or there's other concerns there. But don't get product focused. Don't look for winning products. One of the aha moments that everyone has at some point is you're not looking for winning products. You're looking for test worthy ASINs that you are eligible to sell against and tests and in a few test units. That's what you're looking for. So don't be on a product search, be on an ASIN search. The ASIN is the individual listings on Amazon. Every listing on Amazon has a number that starts B00 something, right? and it's typically like 9 characters long, I think. That's the ASIN, the Amazon's assigned index number, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Look for test-worthy ASINs, not winning products. So that product you just held up, it's probably on Amazon on 15 or 20 different listings. Most of them are probably a waste of your time, but you may have a couple of them that are really good, assuming you can get approved to sell that brand, to sell in that category, etc. It's easy to find stuff that you're not allowed to sell that wouldn't sell for a good profit. That's easy to find. Anybody can do that. Finding test-worthy ASINs is the game. You may have to look at 50 or 100 ASINs to find 1 or 2 that are test-worthy, and you send in a few test units. That's the game. But that's enough of an answer to give you a shove in the right direction. You really need to prove an Amazon course to dig into the Amazon 101, the getting started section. That's going to help you a ton. And the bootcamp would be a great investment. silentjim.com/kickstart is where you can get information on the bootcamp.
Oh, good. Let me put that on my notes, because I was going to ask, how could I find that too?
Yep.
So basically,
silentjim.com/kickstart.
anybody that does the Kickstart, and that's the one with Robin, right? So like, I shouldn't be set up for failure. I should be set up for success to head in that direction.
Absolutely. Spoken like a true Mary Kay champ. Yeah, I found that anybody who's had any degree of success at all with a past business venture, you can do this one.
You know what? I asked the question around being stuck.
Oh, that was your question, right?
That was my question, and I appreciated your response. And then I added a secondary question. So I don't want to belabor this my time with you, and I don't want to. But my background is similar in some regards to what I've heard your background is. Mm-hmm. I've got a sales background from several lifetimes back in this lifetime. Okay, I've got a coaching background, dating back to '96, and graduated and doing that stuff. And then I just sort of stepped out of mainstream for various reasons. And I've explored online for, not recently, but I was part of the OMG community, if you ever heard of those guys. And that was a few years ago. So it's kind of like, but I never got myself actually taking action. And part of my nervous system, when I gauge it, has to do with some of what I imagined. But then you've kind of confirmed it, and that is like, it's always changing. Okay, I'm always having to stay like on top of things.
No, don't let that become an excuse, though.
Well, I hear that.
The low level basic skills that you need to succeed with replens have not changed by an inch in 7 years. Not one tiny detail has changed in 7 years. It's the exact same program. And I anticipate for the next 3 to 5, it'll be the exact same with some minor tweaks possibly. But now to operate at a high level, because I think what you're doing, Dante, is you're confusing the high level noise from 1,000 people with 1,000 different little challenges. And you're thinking, oh, I've got to learn all that. And it's not your fault. Let me see if this resonates with you. We all grew up through an education system that taught us just in case information. Just in case you ever have to dissect an isosceles triangle, we're going to pound that into your head and test you on it. Just in case you ever need to recall what year the Civil War ended, we're going to pound it like just in case, just in case, just in case. No, how about just in time instead? E-commerce can operate on a just in time basis. You have infinitely more just in time information already accumulated to start doing this. So don't use the fact that the stuff that you might be doing 3 years from now might be different than you're doing it today as an excuse to not start with the basic level. Sell something, buy something, sign up for Amazon, sell it at a loss, learn the process, sell something. There's literally no reason for you not to do that. And that momentum will then carry you into the next steps. And yeah, you may hit a confusion question, but it's something we've seen 1,000 times and we'll help you through it.
Right? And that's what I kind of, so you said something earlier about being an introvert, and I'm an introvert, but I can be an extrovert, but I choose to be an introvert most of the time. It's like, I'm okay just being right here in this room. I could be here for 2 or 3 days without leaving and just doing whatever I'm doing. Right. I look at this as, so I've actually sat in on I did Tony Robbins in the mid 80s. I sat in on his online thingy earlier this year, and I get that hundreds of people get all juiced And I also get that there is an imagining that occurs, even with what you're describing about things. But what I know is that you need to actually experience something and then gain traction and then experience that to have the energy, which then for me is motivating.
Yeah.
So
Right. That's when we start you off with selling one thing.
the gap right now is I'm not doing anything. I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'm imagining a lot of stuff, and I need to get to where I've actually could see that I can do this, and that I can get some traction going, and then build from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I'm not a motivational speaker.
Right.
That's not what I do. If someone comes to me and says, I have no motivation. I mean, I like what you're doing, but I got no motivation. I say, sorry, hope you find some motivation somewhere. But here's what I do know. If you sell one thing and it goes well, that's going to light a little fire under you. And you might sell 2 or 3 more things the next day. And now suddenly you've got some momentum and some excitement. I'm not here to motivate you, to fire you up. I'm not here to force you to do anything. Maybe you're perfectly content where you are. I can tell you that one of the laws of the universe when it comes to business is if you isolate, you will not succeed. It's one of the laws of the universe. It just doesn't work. We are not, it's actually scriptural. Man was not made to be alone. It's one of the first verses in the Bible. Man was not meant to be alone. Yeah, it's Adam and Eve, and a guy needs a good wife to amount to much in the world. Quite often, like guys really need that. It benefits them in tremendous ways to be married to a great lady, right? And vice versa. But it also applies to relationships. We are not meant to be alone. So if you try to isolate, there's things inside of you that are dying that you don't even realize. So introverts can't use that as an excuse to avoid the world. That just means there's some other things they have to work on, relationships, getting out there. And you being on here is evidence that, you're willing to do these kind of things. But you need to sell something to someone. You need to take action and sell something. I can't make you do that. Nothing we're teaching you can make you do that. But I'm not here trying to motivate you. I'm here just saying, hey, here's a path. It works. You got a great shot at building something special if you want to go down this path, but no one can make you do those things.
I agree, and I appreciate your demeanor and what you've just shared. Part of my second part question was because I said, look, if I did the boot camp and I started and I was doing what I was instructed to do, okay, I'm also aware of okay, I want to like what I'm doing. I don't want to just do something to get results and then suddenly you've got something that's going that you're attached to, but you really don't really enjoy doing it.
I can address that. Let me address that. Okay. And in the interest of making sure I get to the other questions that other people have, actually, I love that topic. I could talk on about it for an hour. I'm going to do about 2 minutes on this. Okay. I want to like what I'm doing. I want to like and enjoy. I have a chapter in the book, the Silent Sales Machine book that I mentioned earlier. You can get a completely free access to that book. One of the chapters is the topic I'm about to hit, which is how important is it for you to like what you do? We've placed way too much emphasis on this as a culture, in my opinion. I had the opportunity to speak in front of a graduating class of seniors at one point a couple of years ago, and this is one of the things I shared them. I only had 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, and this is one of the things I shared with them. Some of the worst advice I could give you is find something you love. You'll never work a day in your life. We hear that all the time. That is tragic advice, horrible advice, because in the real world, nobody cares what you love first. Maybe your mom does. No one else cares what you love. But what we do care about is, in what ways can you bring value to the rest of us? And what I can tell you, having seen thousands of business and thousands of business owners, is I don't care what the business model is. The example I use is a dry cleaner here in town. I actually want to meet these guys. I've got their names. I've got a phone appointment set to talk to them because I want to ask them this question. At any point growing up, did you guys ever imagine, just a couple brothers, that you would own a dry cleaner and were you like, yes, I can't wait to clean other people's dirty pants? Like, did that thought ever occur to you? But they run a beautiful business that is provided for them and their families and their friends. They got a great reputation. They donate to great causes. And here's the secret. Here's what I'm trying to get at. If you've got a line of people lining up saying thank you, we call money certificates of gratitude around here. I've got a line of people waiting to give me money, as evidenced by certificates of gratitude. Whatever it is that you did for them becomes almost irrelevant. The internal motivation and excitement and drive to be better at that thing that you're doing, it will be there. That's why these guys can get excited about dry cleaning. That's why I can tell a group of seniors, Don't dig inside yourself and try to think, what would I want to do with my life so I can have the schedule I want to have and do what I want to do when I want, like I, me, I, like, come on, you're not a narcissist. Turn that off. How can I serve the world better? As evidenced by them being willing to pay me. You will get so excited about whatever that thing is. You'll be able to build new relationships. You'll have more money in the bank. You can do great causes. You can start new hobbies. You'll have people in your life that you never could have imagined. So the mechanism that you use to get to that place is borderline irrelevant. And you'll talk to investors who see a business as a business. It's a set of numbers. It's an opportunity to expand, right? So don't start off, and that's what I pound it home better in the book than I just did with those 3 minutes, okay? But you finding a business that you like, you got to turn that part of your brain off. That's a waste of time. Complete waste of time.
Can
And
I
you can find
just
hobbies that you like. That's great.
can I just ask an adjunct to this?
Sure.
What, okay, because that was in the box, the chat box. My question was, okay, so I start doing this. Okay, how much I'm willing to invest some money and some time, but how much would you just say, like, okay, this is the bare minimum of a money to invest and time to invest before you decide this is for me or it's not for me?
Yeah, that's a dangerous question to ask about any business model. I've learned to have a little red flag when people ask that, because what it means to me is, if anytime people are saying, hey, what's the minimal effort required to pass this class? What's the minimum skill I'm going to need to mountain bike safely? Or what's the minimum amount of balls I'm going to have to hit to get decent at golf? You've got to go all in. With business, it's not like other things like, if it doesn't work out, I'll go move, I'll do something. Any business you're ever going to do is blood, sweat, tears, risk, sacrifice, learning curve, relationships, pulling that introvert out and putting them in front of people, calling people you're not comfortable calling, getting up earlier than you wanted to. That's what it takes for absolutely any business model.
So you're
So,
saying burn the boats.
well, I'm not saying burn the boats. I'm saying, because I'm just saying it's going to take commitment. You don't have to burn the boats necessarily to commit to something, right? I'm not going to tell, hey, quit your job right now and go all in. No, but do both with passion. Don't, I'm going to say, I'm not saying burn the boats. I'm saying stop watching Netflix, right? Carve some time out and hit it. Go after it. Do it. It's going to be worth it. Very few people are now we have some single moms in our community who work a couple jobs. One's full-time, one's part-time. They've got 5 kids. They're homeschooling those kids. My advice for them is very different than what I'm telling you right now. Like, they truly are having a rough time carving out a couple hours. I'm not getting that vibe from you. I'm saying go hard a few hours a week, and this is going to turn into something. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And within a month, you'll have all the proof of concept that you need to be very excited about this business model. If you do the stuff we're telling you to do,
Okay.
you'll be putting money in the bank. You'll be serving customers well.
Okay. Thanks for the response.
Absolutely,
Appreciate
man.
it.
I'm not trying to beat you up specifically. I've seen
I'm
these
not
questions
feeling beat up.
enough that I want to be blunt.
Yeah.
As my mentor says, I'm not here to massage you with warm butter. Like, that's not what you asked me for. Anyone can do that. Like, oh, you're awesome. You believe in you, and you're awesome just the way you are. Like, there's places you can go to get that stuff. I'm here. We're business building warriors. You're going into battle.
Right
You
on.
have a lot of things out there that want to take all the money you have and leave you penniless. We're fighting against that. We're creating opportunities, creating jobs. Iron sharpens iron around here. That means there's heat, there's friction, there's beating each other up, there's challenging each other on the words we're using and the phraseology and the attitudes we're detecting in each other, and bring it right back at me. If you ever hear me slipping into a poverty mindset with my phraseology or the approach that I have to things, because you need people like that. The world needs leaders of integrity, determination, commitment. They're in short supply.
Yep,
But
I agree.
let's go, man. Let's build something cool.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. God bless, man.
I've got a quick question. Obviously, I've been, I think I'm 4 months into this, and had my first sale yesterday, which was great, and
Nice.
another 2 today, which is awesome. So it's baby steps to the curb.
There we go.
But I have a question. I've got 20 ASINs sent in. One is being transferred somewhere else, but I actually have 16 of them in FC transfer. When it's in FC transfer, are those still available to be sold, or do I have to wait for Amazon to place them before they can basically put up the inventory?
Depends. More and more often, Amazon is telling customers that there's an extended delivery time for those ASINs that are in transfer, and they are available for sale, which is why
Okay.
sometimes you'll be shopping, and we're used to seeing oh, it's Amazon Prime. That means they can have it in 2 days. And you're like, wait, Amazon Prime available 14 days from now. What's that? Well, it's stuff that's in transit. It's hopping, the seller just sent it in and it's on its way to Los Angeles. And as soon as it gets there, it's going to get spread out to Chicago and Tampa. That's going to take 2 weeks, that whole process to play out, get it checked in, open it up, put it in a new box, send it to Charlotte. So here's this guy shopping in Chicago for this item that's on its way to Los Angeles. And Amazon's smart enough to say, hey, if this guy's willing to wait 2 weeks, yeah, we can get him a prime pricing, prime delivery, but it's going to take a couple of weeks because it's still got to get to LA and then get unboxed and checked in and sent to Chicago. So it may get, and typically what you'll see is it happens way faster than that. They pad those dates because they don't want anything to be late ever. So realistically, I'll probably have it a week from now, but they say 2 weeks to be safe. So a lot of times that stuff is up for sale, but you can't count on that fact. But a good way to tell is to look at that ASIN and see if your stuff is showing up. And if it is, for sale.
Okay.
Right.
Well, the other thing is I saw that 4 of the items that I have out there, and it's interesting, when I priced mine 4 weeks ago, and some of them, I priced a lot higher than the buy box just to kind of pad a little bit. Right. But now I'm on the buy box on 4 of those. So, and I was on the buy box yesterday and today, which is great. I hope it sells, but it's interesting how the price has come up to where I am now. And there's some lower and some higher. So I don't know.
Oh, you're saying the other people came up to you?
Well, they must have.
The other sellers.
They must have, because like I said, I'm on 4 of the buy boxes of the items.
You're winning the buy box at a higher price.
Yes.
Right. Wow. That's cool. Now, you don't have to win the buy box to win sales. Hopefully you've realized that by now, right? Obviously, that's podcast episode 554. Go listen to it. Ignore the buy box. But quite often, when Amazon rotates that buy box through all the different sellers, they will reward it to some very high priced ASINs. And because you got to think of Amazon as, again, I know you know this, Chris, you've probably heard us say it a few times now, but you got to think of Amazon as 200 warehouses. So a shopper in, say, Chicago is going to see the inventory that's nearest Chicago, especially if they want fast delivery. If they want Prime Now, that's a much smaller inventory pool that's available to them. They can't shop the whole country. They can't shop the lowest priced seller in Northern California if they're in Chicago. Right? That would take 3 days to get to them. If they want Prime Now 2 hours, only thing they've got is a handful of listings. Never mind if they're in the middle of nowhere, middle of Montana or something. Like, there's only one warehouse and it's going to take a couple days to get anything there, right? So you're Prime Now or a Prime shopper there, and you're looking for the what's near you that you can get quickly. There's only a few sellers with a few products. So the buy box is very different for that guy in Montana than it is for the guy in Chicago. Than it is so the buy box isn't a steady thing across the whole United States. It's different for different sellers in different regions.
So two of my ASINs, actually, I'm in Michigan. 2 of my ASINs, actually, most of them I've shipped to Fort Wayne, but I had to send 2 boxes to California. So they when I sent my shipment in, they said, we want these to go to California. So is that a good thing for me because they're short and out in California, like it might sell quicker, or is it just a crapshoot?
It really is kind of random, but Amazon knows what it's doing. It's sending the units where they think it's most likely to sell the quickest.
Okay.
So and there's not really a whole lot you can do to manipulate that. The only way you can kind of manipulate that is to say, I'm going to keep some and merchant fulfill them out of my own house, especially if it's something that keeps selling out. And as we get into the fourth quarter, one of the strategies that you're smart to pay attention to is Amazon's going to be running out of a lot of stuff. And so merchant fulfill sellers now, kind of naming your own price, doing your own shipping, you get an advantage in those, if it could be a few hour gap or it could be a few day gap where there's nothing at FBA, there's no inventory in Amazon's warehouse. Or if it is, there's just a couple units on the opposite ends of the coast. And here's someone in the middle of the country, you're in Michigan. They want one. And like, you're the fastest guy that can get them product as a merchant fulfill shopper. Or seller. Right. So you're going to send that product to this customer faster than Amazon even can. You're going to get rewarded with the buy box as a merchant fulfill seller at a nice profitable price for you. You're not competing with any FBA sellers because you're the only one that has any inventory nearby.
All right. Awesome. Well, I don't want to manipulate the time. My goal here is to get ungated in toys just because I sell a lot on eBay. So I'm trying, but it's, I'm trying to get to 50, 60 items sold if I can get that quick and they'll ungate me without having to do invoices.
Yeah,
That's
getting
my
the
goal
toys in
there.
time for Christmas, that's a good goal to have, but you'll do
Yeah.
great even without it. The sales pace will pick up dramatically. November and the first couple of weeks of December are just insane. Yeah, you're
Okay.
going to do great, man. Welcome
Awesome.
aboard. Good to have you in the community, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, Chris, good to meet you.
Quick question. I think Chris already got to the one about the buy box, so that's
Okay.
good. I prepped my first FBA shipment yesterday. Send out 27 ASINs and a total of 63 units. And I think about half of those are replens. The other ones are clearance and just one-offs.
Good for you,
So
man.
what I did, I bought three of each profitable ASIN that could probably be a replen. So I'm going to test them out. My question to you is, shipment goes out today. Should I shop another 3 of each this week to make another shipment next week, added to whatever else I find this week? Or should I wait till those start selling before I buy any more?
Well, the whole point of testing an ASIN is we're going to wait and see what we think. We're not going to put any more inventory behind that ASIN until we have a reason to do so, like sales start happening. So what you do want to do is continue finding more test-worthy ASINs and sending in test products. What you don't want to do is send in more test inventory on top of an unproven ASIN. Does that help?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, that was my main question. Like I said, I think these are pretty good. They had good velocity and everything, but yeah, I better wait till they start selling before I actually buy any more.
Yeah, wait till they start popping, see how they're popping. There's plenty of times where you get surprised by the actual results you're seeing off of a Keepa chart. Because part of the beauty of this business is, and part of the frustrating thing as a teacher of this business is also that Keepa isn't perfect. I mean, it's taken a shot in the dark. Keepa is the clearest view into what's happening at Amazon on data that Amazon doesn't want to share, but it's not perfect data by any means. So there'll be plenty of times where Keepa says, yeah, this is an 11 drops per month ASIN. And you're thinking, okay, there's 3 sellers, 11 drops. Everyone's priced around the buy box. I think I'm going to skip it. But I've come to learn I could be the only FBA seller here. Those guys are all merchant fulfill. I'm going to send one in $15 more expensive, higher priced than those FBM sellers, FBA, just see what happens. And boom, as soon as my 2 units hit, they sell. I'm going to send in 5 more. Boom, those 5 sell within 2 days. Like, okay, this isn't 11 drops per month, Keepa. I don't know what you're seeing, but I think this is selling at quite a faster clip. And I'm the only FBA seller. I'm going to go send in 30 units. Bam, a week, they all fly off the shelf. Like that, you'll wander into those kind of opportunities by finding test-worthy ASINs, test-worthy scenarios, such as a chance to be the only FBA seller or one of only 2 FBA sellers, that kind of thing. Right? Lots of opportunities but yeah, you want to test at a low level and then only send in more as is necessary.
Okay. Just one more comment. I mean, just for everybody else that's here, I've been in the coaching program for about 3 weeks now. I want to tell everybody, man, it's really helpful. It's really boosted our confidence. It's taught us a lot here. I've been selling on Amazon. Well, I've had my account open for over a year, and I have not found. I have not that I haven't found. I was scared to send the FBA shipment, but that coaching program really gave us the confidence and boost to go forward with our first shipment. So, man, I'll recommend it to anybody.
Thanks for that, buddy. Yeah, you're going to find it to be a tremendous investment for the relationships and the content that, just the community that you're now a part of. Yeah, welcome aboard, man. Yeah, you're going to do beautiful. You're off to a great start. Love to meet you in May if that works out too.
Sure. Thank you all for your time.
All right. God bless.